I will call the meeting to order at 5:01 p.m. on Tuesday, July 22nd. Commissioner Khan, would you like to lead the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
1, 2, 3. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Commissioner, we will do roll call now. Commissioner Dolgowski.
Present.
Thank you. Commissioner Garcia.
Present.
Commissioner Grace.
Present.
Commissioner Haskins.
Present.
Commissioner Johnson.
Present.
Commissioner Khan.
present.
Commissioner McCann.
Here.
Commissioner Schmidt.
Present.
And Commissioner Van Nort is absent. Okay, our first order of business this evening is the nomination and election of chairperson and vice chairperson. We will start with the nominations for chairperson, and once the chairperson has been nominated and selected, then the chair will run the meeting from here to include the nomination and election of the vice chair. So quite typically there are just nominations thrown out. It's up to the commission body how you want to manage. If you'd like to hear a couple of words of why the nomination, that would be up to the commission body. But we will start with nominations for chairperson.
I have a question, Mayor.
Yes.
So after those are nominated, then what's the next process?
So we would vote. There would be a motion and a second to vote on the nomination, and there could be a substitute motion from there.
On one particular nomination? Or-
Yes.
Okay.
So the recommendation would be you nominate anybody, you can throw a lot of different names out, then we would be looking for a motion and a second on one individual. If there's a substitute motion, we would consider that first.
So can we have people that want to do it speak?
Certainly.
Like,
Yeah.
2 minutes or something? Just give, like, I don't know anyway, so like, sell yourself. Sorry, excuse me.
I would like to make a nomination to speak for the potential candidacy. I'd like to nominate Shauna Garcia. I think with her knowledge of city workings, she's worked both in Laguna Hills and in your new job in Lake Forest. She is a longtime San Clemente resident with a really deep understanding of our city and its needs, and I think she would serve this commission well.
I would like to make a nomination as well. Do we need a second for Shauna?
So I would need a second on Shauna before we hear a second substitute motion.
I'll second Sean.
Okay, that's a second by Commissioner Khan. And then I hear from Commissioner Grace there's a substitute motion, and what would that be?
Thor Johnson?
Great. Well, I would like to accept the nomination. Thank you, Commissioner Grace. I'm in my third year of service here on this commission, and I bring experience, consistency, and a strong record of collaboration. I co-authored the only resolution from this body in the past 3 years that was formally adopted by the mayor and city council, and it was a resolution that basically paved the way to fundraise for our parks, but while preserving our heritage. I'm also a recent graduate of the San Clemente Leadership Academy just a couple months ago, which deepened my understanding of this department and how the city works. And currently serving as vice chair, I worked closely with the former chair, our wonderful chair, and setting the agenda and stuff like that. So I ensured transparency and procedure, and if I'm elected or appointed chair, I will continue to foster a respectful, fair, and orderly process, and most importantly, give each and every one of you a voice that's heard. So I accept that nomination, and I second it.
Am I still allowed to talk?
Yes, I just want to note for the record that Commissioner Van Nort has entered the dais at 5:06. Thank you. I think we are, Commissioner Johnson, was that a second?
Yes, a second.
Okay. Is there discussion on the substitute motion or the original motion at this point? Because I know that there's a lot of unfamiliar faces, so I do think it's helpful to have a little bit more of an open dialogue this evening about selecting a chairperson, so.
Can I,
Commissioner Garcia.
yes, speak and introduce myself?
Yes.
Hello, fellow commissioners and new commissioners. It's nice to meet you, see you, be with you. My name is Shauna Garcia. I am a third-generation San Clemente resident. I have a 2 and a 4-year-old. So the whole reason that I ran for this commission last year was to essentially be an active participant in the bettering of the city for my children. I took the city leadership class with John, so we were graduates last year, and that is how I became more interested in being a part of this commission. I also, too, in my role as what I do professionally, I work closely with municipalities, so I do understand the grand scope of what municipalities do, and then also the importance of commissions and how we are essentially a liaison between city council and the public. Last year was my first year. It was wonderful. Got to dip my toes into everything. Commissioner McCain and I worked closely with the aquatics department to help the policy, which I think we're going to have eyes on either this meeting or the next meeting to finalize. And yeah, my heart is to serve the community, and I'm doing it for my kids, so I am definitely invested and would be honored to lead us forward without any bias or prejudices.
Can I add something? Can I also
Yes, there's further.
Yes, I just wanted to add that Thor was our co-chair for the last year. And has been serving on this committee for 3 years. And I think just given his knowledge of this committee all around, that's why it's my choice to nominate Thor.
We do have one speaker card that can pause.
Hi, good afternoon and welcome to BPNR Commission members and from the Coastal Advisory Committee. I wanted to say that I have worked with Thor Johnson in some projects regarding the Los Patronos Parkway extension, and he's very knowledgeable on San Clemente issues. He attends city council meetings, and I really support him and would want him to be chair. No offense to Ms. Garcia, however, that Thor Johnson is just very receptible, very approachable, and just very fair and equitable, and I really support his nomination. He basically, one of the things that he has said at one of the BPNR Commission meetings is that he was really looking out for the best interests of the Latino community. And that is so important as a Latina to have this accountability and acceptance for the Latino community, and I think that's really speaks volumes. So I definitely support Mr. Johnson, or Commissioner Johnson, as chair. Thank you.
Okay, are there?
Just a point of order. We're not vice chairing right now. This is for.
That's correct. This is just
Okay.
chairperson.
I thought we
Yes.
were vice chairing first.
Yes.
Once chair's nominated, then they'll lead the voting.
Yes.
Vice chair.
That's
Okay.
correct. Are there any other comments or discussion? Okay, with that, we would be voting on the substitute motion first, which is a motion by Commissioner Grace, a second by Commissioner Johnson for the nomination of Commissioner Johnson for chairperson of the commission. I will do a roll call vote because there are 9 members. Commissioner Dologowski?
This is
the sub.
yes, no?
This is a yes or no for Commissioner Johnson as chairperson.
Yes.
Commissioner Garcia?
No.
Commissioner Grace?
Yes.
Commissioner Haskins?
No.
Commissioner Johnson?
Yes.
Commissioner Khan?
Yes.
Commissioner McCann?
No.
Commissioner Schmidt?
Can
Schmidt?
I abstain?
Yep, that's,
I'm gonna abstain.
okay. And Commissioner Van Nort.
Yes.
Okay, so that motion passes. Hang on, let me, with a total of 5 votes for Commissioner Johnson, 2 noes, and, well, 3 noes and 1 abstention.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Okay, Chair Johnson, would you like to lead the conversation and nomination for vice chair?
Yes, first off, thank you very much, and as vice chair, I will reiterate my commitment to making sure that each and every one of you has a voice and is treated with respect and with fairness. And I will do all that I can to support each and one of you to my ability. With that being said, I would like to open up nominations for vice chair. And any nominations?
Yeah, I'd like to nominate Shauna Garcia. I'll second that.
I'd like to make a substitute motion and nominate Commissioner Teddy Khan.
I'll second that.
So you would be
So with
voting
that-
on.
Yeah, so with that being said, I'm going to close the nominations if there's nothing else. And first, we will vote on Commissioner Teddy Khan.
Can I say a few words before we vote?
Yeah,
That's
sure,
up to
go
the
ahead.
chair.
Go ahead.
For those of you that I haven't met, my name's Teddy, and this is my 2nd year on the commission, and I've been heavily involved in the subcommittee that we have. I think that's where the real work gets done for this commission, and I look forward to doing more of that and hopefully assisting Thor as chair.
Any other words before we vote? Okay. Commissioner Delegowski.
Can I ask a question before we vote?
Yes.
I don't understand the process. We had a nomination and a second, and then we had another
So
nomination.
whenever there's a nomination and then there's a substitute, the substitute always gets voted first, and then if it fails, it goes back to the first one.
We follow Rosenberg, correct?
Yeah.
Rule of order or rule of law, so that's the way that they.
Okay.
So anytime a substitute motion is made, that substitute motion is voted on first, and then if it fails, it goes to the original motion.
So you never get to vote on the
If
first motion?
if
And
the
that-
second
motion.
fails, then you get to vote on the
Yes,
first.
correct.
Okay, I understand.
So if this one were to fail, you vote on the first one.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Okay, Commissioner Delegowski.
No.
Commissioner Garcia.
No.
Commissioner Grace.
Yes.
Commissioner Haskins.
No.
Commissioner Johnson is a yes. Commissioner Khan.
Yes.
Commissioner McCain.
Yes.
Commissioner Schmidt.
You're voting for Teddy.
For Commissioner Khan.
For Commissioner Khan,
What number?
vice chair.
I'm just gonna abstain again.
Okay. Abstain.
That's what I did last time.
And Commissioner Van Noort.
No.
Okay, so it looks like it's ties. Is that correct?
Should I
Yes.
recast my vote, because I can actually do it?
Yes, if you'd like to.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
So then,
That fails, so you vote on the original motion.
Okay, so let's go to the original motion for Commissioner Garcia as vice chair. Commissioner Delegowski.
Yes.
Commissioner Garcia.
yes.
Commissioner Grace.
Yes.
Commissioner Haskins.
Yes.
Commissioner Johnson is a yes. Actually, excuse me. Commissioner Johnson is a no. Commissioner Khan.
Yes.
Commissioner McCain.
Yes.
Commissioner Schmidt.
Yeah, I'm gonna abstain.
Okay. And Commissioner Van Norton.
Yes.
Okay, motion passes. Congratulations, Vice Chair Garcia.
Congratulations.
Sorry, bro.
Now we rearrange.
Yes, you may rearrange at this point. And Debbie will assist in
You're gonna
that.
get a new, desk hanging down. I think you go down. You have to move it.
I would be closer to the door.
Yes, that's where Shauna.
We got two or we got one? Oh,
Would you like me to move?
do we just?
Alyssa, you're actually gonna go on the other side.
You go right here.
Where am I?
Right here. Oh, no, you're on the other side. You're in the middle.
Shifts. There we go.
Vice chair goes on that
You're to
side.
the right.
No, we're just, okay.
I don't know, maybe you're showing us.
Go
No,
down.
I'm okay. Is this your one?
Teddy will be right here.
No, that's ours.
Shauna, and then Alyssa's.
We have a water bottle. No?
There's your vacation.
It's cold. Thank you. Oh, I love my binder.
Teddy.
I brought my own personal binder. Here, Shauna. Sorry, you want it? Yeah.
You know,
Thank you.
All right, great. So, next up on the agenda, looks like we have old business, second consideration of unsolicited proposal for surfer, skater, art, and music hall band.
I have a couple of.
And we have some speakers. Let's see here. First, we have Miss Amanda Quintanilla.
So, I spoke at the last city council meeting in April, PPNR, sorry, I'm so used to going to city council meetings. It was my understanding that the person who proposed that, this item was going to form a 501(c) before this would come back to the PNR commission. So that's where I'm really concerned about that, because it should be taken seriously that to go through the process, because there is a process of that. It takes a while to do. So, however, these proposals that I'm seeing, there's concerns regarding that. I have no objections for the San Clemente Skate Park, for plaques on there, because it's pertinent to the skateboard community, so it's right there in that area. However, the T Street Bridge, or the T Street overpass, basically there's a concern because it's my understanding in 2026 from city staff that there is some kind of rehab with that. And then you could even see in the picture that there's some cracks there on the wall, side of the wall. And so, so that's just something to be aware of in that location, that there might be some, concerns with construction or painting or replastering or something like that. However, the main concerns is the historic aspects of the sidewalk, which is right in front of the Easley building, which is on the National Register. So that is a main concern on that. I did speak with one of the San Clemente Historical Society members, and so he was not able to attend today, but there's concern regarding that. And then also I think there was another picture here of an alternate location, again, at, on a historic building. It's not on the National Register. However, there is a concern regarding that. It's right in front of also the bulb outs, which the bulb outs have a historic significance in that sense that they do have, or they do honor the tile work of the historic buildings in San Clemente. So that is a main concern there. So also in front of the community center on that sidewalk, it is a ramp accessible for ADA. So I'm concerned regarding that and issues regarding any slippage or anything like that in the maintenance of that. Let's see, anything else? I just feel that we have, the Sports Wall of Fame and other recognitions throughout our town. So I think it's just overkill at this point.
Thank you. All right. Thank you very much. Next up we have Mr. Edward Queskin.
Good evening. Congratulations, Chairman. I'm familiar with a process similar to this. I built 3 projects on Hollywood Boulevard and Vine, and so I'm familiar with the Chamber of Commerce and the stars, et cetera, that they install on the sidewalk. I would recommend that the city encourage this, but we follow the similar arrangement that the City of Los Angeles has and the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce, which essentially the Hollywood Chamber of Commerce has a committee that determines who gets the stars. It's not inexpensive, it costs $85,000. They usually get about 1,000 applications and they pick 30. So this is similar from the standpoint that we should probably engage in this partially because I think it's an economic development item, because technically we are a surf community, although we just lost the Heritage Museum. And we're going to get a lot of publicity though when the Olympics come to town in 3 years. Hopefully we'll take advantage of that. So my recommendation, based on how other communities do it, is that we remand this concern, this item, back to the Chamber of Commerce and see if they want to form a committee. And then through that committee, there could be selections and determinations of where the best place to place whatever acknowledgement we want to take advantage of. So we kind of follow the example of other people who similarly, other communities that similarly do a similar thing. By the way, I'm in favor of it, but I just think it should be done in a way that's basically involved with the business community who would take advantage of these things to give our community its surf connection and take advantage of that in places where it would best serve both the community and the business community. That's it. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. So we will end public comment and open it up for discussion. Or is there a report?
Yeah, I think staff don't have too much of a report, but this is a second consideration. Again, the commission could choose to get more information and ask the applicant to come back again. This is just the latest update. The applicant is here and can give details on where he's at in the process of a 501c3 organization. As the comments have been made, it is a big process to establish a nonprofit. And so he can provide an update as well. And I do think the applicant's willing to further consider alternate locations as well. Staff would share the similar concerns on historic buildings and things like that. We certainly couldn't permit even on private property, and some of these are on private property buildings. But we would be looking at the sidewalk areas at this point. So I actually think if the chair and the commission are okay with it, it'd be best if you heard from the applicant at this point.
All right, great. I'd like to invite the applicant up.
Are we allowed to ask questions at this point too?
Yes, I think that's yes.
So first I'd like the applicant, just to give us a little update, and then we could ask questions.
Yeah, so it's set up as a nonprofit at this stage under San Clemente Certificated Sound and Art Hall of Fame. It is still in the process of being set up as a foundation, so it's not under my name. So that is happening. We do have a list for board members that are involved in making decisions for the athletes involved, helping on where the locations are, and obviously working with the city on where those locations are. So by no means is anything set in stone. It's just presentation. Okay, this is what we're thinking. We set up a committee with the arts and culture. Is that right? Arts and culture. I think I got that right. With that group, which is Josh Pasquitz, Shane, and I'm sorry, we only met once, and one other person from that group. So we have a group of 3 that we've met with those guys, and they actually proposed that we open up a full museum. And I'm like, I'd love to do that, and that'd be great, but I don't have the finances to do that myself. So that was considered, and we have a meeting again this Thursday with that group. So everything is basically the process moving along where it needs to be, what's been recommended to me to do. Now it's just finalizing everything and getting everything set for it. But obviously, since last time we met, getting it set up as the nonprofit was point 1 that we had to do. presenting where the location or locations are was point two that was asked of us, or asked of me. And we put that all together, so hopefully you guys read through that. We also were asked in the last meeting to set up bylaws and set up all the, how things would roll out over 5 and 10 years and whatnot. So that was all in that documentation that I believe you guys all received, so hopefully you have a chance to, that wasn't in, the bylaws weren't in there?
Anything after bylaws.
We only have the updated locations and renderings.
Okay, then I will get a copy of that sent to Samantha, and then she can distribute that, but I believe I had sent you a copy at one point. So that is set up on that side of it, so if there's any questions, I'll make sure you guys, I'll get a copy of that so that you can read over that.
Yeah,
Chamber of Commerce, I think that makes great sense, because it is something to bring business into the city. There are the 3 touch points that we talked about, so basically nominations, awards, and then plaque ceremony. So it creates 3 points where we can get tourism in and we can have benefits towards the city.
So my questions were about the bylaws, because I want to see how this is going to be sustained over time when someone else is the CEO or the president or whatever you are, and then also the city's role in it, because, you know, these things will require, obviously, like mounting them, digging up the concrete, or excuse me, digging up the sidewalk, this, that, and the other. And then also, too, have you spoken with anyone from the Friends of St. Clemente who does the Sports Wall of Fame?
No, I have not played in the golf tournament, but I did not. You're on there. I've had it.
Because the only reason I say is because we do have a Sports Hall of Fame already, a Sports Wall of Fame, as well as, you know, the citizens down at the community center. So we do have 2 of those things already, because I like the idea, but I'm trying to understand what's specific about this one, or not what's specific, but like, why do we need a 3rd?
Well, number one is recognize surfers
Okay.
as a very important ambassador to the city.
Okay.
I mean, I've traveled the globe for the business I've been in for my career, and San Clemente is, because of Trestles, because of our surfing and surfing heritage, because of San Onofre, we're a microscope under inspection constantly of a city that produces just world-class surfers.
Right.
And I really wanted to see that they're recognized with our city, and our city can benefit from that.
Would there be overlap of the 2 other walls?
There absolutely could be.
Okay.
I think that's one of the things, once we have the board established, is how do we do that voting process?
Right.
And that is something that I want to get the detail of that done once that group's finalized.
Got it.
We have people for surf, we have people for art, we have people for skate already lined up, committed to it, and music. So I actually have one for each one of them already lined up for it. What I ideally want to do is get 2 people for each of them, so that way we can have meetings and decide on that. So it's really difficult, like with surf, because we have so many.
Right. Who do you choose?
And how do you choose that?
Yeah.
You know, that it's insane. I mean, it could take 50 years to
Right.
get the list done for what there
So-
currently is.
Financially, too, do you have ideas for fundraisers? Is that in the bylaws?
That's
or
not in the
how-
bylaws, so
Okay.
fundraisers, that's something that'll need to be worked on how to raise funds for that. There's obviously a lot of surf community here,
Right.
surf industry here. So from that standpoint, I've worked for multiple of these
Right.
companies. You know, you have Rip Curl that's here, you have Lost that's here,
Right.
you have eyewear companies that are here, there's 3 or 4 of. So there's plenty of resources in that sense. Friends of San Clemente is another one that was brought up to me to talk to those guys about getting funds through them. And I don't know how that works when we're already a foundation or not.
Usually a 501c3 can't.
Can't, okay.
Well, they can. I wouldn't.
Because I thought another, someone said they were going to donate funds for something that was.
Yeah, it just, I saw you listed, like, the WSL event, Ocean Fest, and Fiesta in here. Are you, like, how we're.
So all of these, I mean, we'll do merch for it, we'll sell merch.
Yeah.
We'll contact local business to
Yeah.
see who can be involved with that. I work with a lot of local restaurants and bars also that I make product
Yeah.
for. So
So
that's
then-
what I do for a living, so I'll be able to approach a lot of people. And again, being in San Clemente since 1974, I have a lot of long relationships.
So then, when it comes to what you want from the city, is it just permission and partnership in doing these sorts of things? Are you looking for like a contract of services, like what?
Permission
Okay,
and partnership in it.
okay,
Again, I'm doing this for, the
For us.
friends and the surfers.
Yeah, yeah.
That I know that I feel like they should have more
right,
recognition, yes,
Okay.
for what they've done and what they bring to the city.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
Sorry, the gentleman behind you, what's his name?
okay.
Ed. So, I think I'm gonna jive with Alyssa here, or Commissioner, sorry. In terms of, okay, so we have an example with the stars, right? You're not gonna get a surfer to pay $85,000 to get a plaque in San Clemente, right? So the cost of that star, do we have an idea of what the construction cost of removing a square of concrete is on city property and installing the star?
No, but that would be a good thing to know, because
Yeah.
what people could do is they could sponsor, in the case of this, they could sponsor the individual who's being honored.
Right.
So we would determine, whether we put it in the I personally like to put it in the sidewalk, because we have.
Sorry, we can't, I don't mean to interrupt you, we cannot take comments from the public at this point.
No, I'm-
But
I'm sorry.
I can respond and tell you that I don't have a cost right now. From the staff level though, the pavers are challenging. Yeah, that will be a hurdle for us to get through. Those pavers are constantly moving and shifting, so we would have to look at that further, if it's even feasible to get it into the ground without it causing some kind of lip or something like that.
So, in the material that you sent over, do you have an estimated cost as to what each plaque would be? I know it's a lot of logistics that we're asking, but,
I could get them made because of what I do for probably between $100 and $200 a piece.
okay, but from a city
City
standpoint?
standpoint, no idea.
Okay,
Not a clue.
Okay.
I know things tend to be more inflated when.
I mean, but
Run through.
Fridays are prevailing wage, are you gonna put it on Friday, like, there's, a lot of different.
And to remove pavers and then replace it with a plaque, I don't
Yeah.
know the cost on that.
Right.
And obviously it has to go through city because it's city property
Yeah.
for the most part. Originally we proposed doing a Del Mar and Queen Real, kind
Right.
of a T of that for everything. But then the feedback from the arts and culture, that's what I meant to get to earlier.
Okay,
Those guys were saying, hey, they like the idea of doing it at each individual place.
okay.
So.
Have you talked with anyone from Public Works to get an idea as to like cost or?
No, but I am friends with Zach Thompson, who's engineer for the city. I would imagine he would be able to provide me some detail on that. Is that
I,
Samantha?
Yeah, I think, again, so as an unsolicited proposal, we take it for the commission, through the commission process to understand what the interest is, and if it's something that's gonna work. This is not a directive from city council, so we cannot dedicate staff time to it at this point. If the commission wants to continue to work through it, you might consider establishing a subcommittee to work alongside the Arts and Culture Committee and the applicant to kind of flush out some of these comments. I think that's really important and healthy conversation, but I don't know that we're gonna get all of our answers on the dais this evening, but I think there's some really good points that have been raised as well.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, go ahead.
How far along are you in creating your 501c3? When do you expect to actually be incorporated as a nonprofit?
It already is.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
you have an EIN?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that.
And I would like to make a comment, and I know that I mentioned this last time. I think that representation is really important. I love that you're honoring the community of athletes and artists, and I would like to advocate for more diversity in the people that are acknowledged, including women.
That was brought up previously, I
Yeah.
completely agree. Yeah. The hardest part again is gonna be the quantity, you know.
Yes, right,
It's gonna be, you know, who's first and what.
And diversity of that.
It is, I
Well,
can
that's
only
also
imagine the fun in that.
Why I asked about cost, because you might just be able to do one a year
Yeah.
versus.
And that's what we talked about initially, that my idea, because surf is so big, was 2 per year on surf and 1 in each of the others, but that was when it was brought up by Amanda, the women side of it, and I totally agree. I mean, there's amazing women that are from this town that are definitely worthy of getting recognized.
Great questions. Any other questions for the gentleman?
Yeah, I have
Yes,
some
Commissioner.
same questions. First of all, in regards to cost, I think that there may be some other options to have develop a plaque which is honoring, their participants, but it's not actually cast in bronze. I have a couple of friends who work in artist foundries for casting statues, and I just making a wild guess because I've seen the process. It's going to be bare minimum $1,000 per plaque, and probably maybe even over, greater than 2,000, because there's a lot of labor involved. You have to make a mold, using the lost wax process, and then cast it, and then grind it, polish it, mount it, all this stuff. It's very labor intensive. And, but I think it's a good idea, but maybe, they could do something out of ceramic material, or I don't know, other types of material that would stand up to the weather and would be, still honor the people. And I think it would be better to put it on a vertical surface than on the ground, just because I think it's a lot more expensive if you put it in the sidewalk, and you have to deal with all of the traffic and, and the base, make sure it can accept the weight if somebody accidentally drives a car around it and all that sort of thing. And then in terms of the locations, I think that it's good to put it in places where people are going to be congregating or passing so they can see it, and I think a lot of people would be interested. And so for that reason, I think somewhere around the Pier Bowl is good. I think T Street is a good location, but I wouldn't recommend putting it on that lower half of that concrete wall, because it's so low. People are already looking, straight ahead as they're crossing over the railroad tracks, and then to try and swoop down and read it would be really hard. So something more at eye level, I think, is better. And I don't think that what's the name of the building? The old movie theater in San Clemente. That was the area proposed for music. I didn't quite see the relationship between music and that particular building, but it doesn't. It's currently still not operational. It doesn't get much foot traffic, so I think we could probably find a better location. And then the last question I had, it wasn't clear to me if the award for the artists and the musicians or music-oriented award, is that also related to the surfing industry, or is this art in general and music in general?
It's really the connection of the four together. They really play off each other, how they work, and surfing and skate have influenced art and music so heavily, and vice versa. So is it surf and skate only with the music and art? Absolutely not. No, it's those individual things. So, with the Miramar Theater, there was a lot of music played back there in the 80s.
Yeah.
So that was it was kind of going, where would music make sense in this town? We don't have any town-owned music amphitheaters that I'm aware of.
We got knuckleheads. It would be great if they
Is that owned by the city?
That's not Park.
I mean, yeah, we got SC Tavern.
Any other questions for the gentleman, or Commissioner Delagosky? Okay. Anyone else?
No, I think moving forward, I'd like to see a little bit more before we present this, or suggest to usher it to city council. I specifically want to see a little bit more numbers involved, like proposed fundraising ideas, how, kind of get a couple estimates, maybe meet with, with the committee that you have on Thursday, to Samantha's suggestion. I don't know if we need a subcommittee on this yet, but that's up to the commission, but I want to see a little bit more before I'm comfortable moving this forward.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner. So,
Mainly to do with costs.
Yeah.
And seeing the bylaws, and I
Because we haven't
apologize
seen
for
the
that, yes.
So, I would like to make a couple comments. I think your vision is exactly what this town needs. The T Street Bridge, for example, like, say if we put some plaques on there, it looks like it's gonna be repaired in the near future. So we wouldn't wanna put a plaque, other cities do stuff like that, we don't wanna do that here. Also too, potential good location could be the surf meadow.
Yeah.
Just an idea, it's an upcoming place. T Street's good, but it's kind of like semi-residential and stuff like that, so this is just my advice. But moving forward, will there be an arts and culture subcommittee?
There already is an established subcommittee for this topic.
Yeah, so I recommend working closely with them, and I agree with my commissioners, coming back once there's a little more. And if there's anything that I could do to help you outside of the meetings, just please reach out to me and I'll do what I can.
Great, thank you.
So anyone want to make a motion?
I will. I motion to have the applicant, is it over there, or what we're calling? Sure. The applicant, the SSAM Hall of Fame, SSA Hall of Fame, come back at a later date with a little bit more of a meaty presentation, including things like rough estimates, fundraising opportunities, and also a couple other ideas for locations. And maybe talking to your engineer buddy might help with that. Maybe look at the master plan, what's coming up in the next couple of
Making
years.
notes, all right.
Oh, yeah. You can email me too.
I'll second that motion. So all in favor?
Aye.
Any abstains or no's? All right, passes anonymously.
Thank you.
So we look forward to hearing back from you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All right, great. So thank you, everyone. Next up, we have new business. We have development of DPNR Commission work plan for this upcoming year, reported by Director Wiley. And our first and only speaker is Mr. Ed Queston.
Thank you. Thank you. There's a bit of history here. Last session, when I was on the commission, and Commissioner Teddy Khan and I were instructed to create a subcommittee for the purpose of looking over the work plan letter process and its compliance with its underlying documents. So the work plan letters, we concluded, appeared not to have any relevance or basis in the state of California mandatory annual strategic implementation plan of the Centennial General Plan, which is our current general plan of the city of San Clemente, and specifically to the beaches, parks, and recreation and coastal elements of the general plan. There are two elements specifically in the general plan that are beaches, parks, and recreation, and coastal, and they indicate various directives in terms of what the city should be doing in terms of planning and implementing that general plan. So we determined that that wasn't necessarily the case. What we did then is we went to the draft strategic implementation plan that was in the planning department and sort of edited out those parts that we felt were relevant to coastal and to the beaches, parks, and recreation department. And we created a sort of edited version of the strategic implementation plan, which I've provided in that rather large and lengthy combination of documents to you. And essentially, we went through it, and then we basically selected items in that that we felt should be addressed potentially in the work plan letter process. So there, then we did is we created a log or a ledger of work plan letters, which is also, you have in that package that I provided. And we then were going to give have an opportunity to suggest those. Unfortunately, we didn't quite get enough time to do that, so now we are here having a special meeting, which I strongly concur, having a special meeting. These work plan letters are not just sort of idle wish list items. They are very, very specific in terms of what needs to happen. I'm going to list very quickly, I've got 44 seconds. There is an update to the master plan, There's incorporate the public art in the parks. There was established a North Beach Pride organization. These are all listed as potential work plan letters. A tournament bocce facility in the San Luis lawn bowling. Roller rink, these are other substantial CapEx items. Roller rink at the former Ernesto's restaurant at North Beach. A basketball court at the south end of town. A designated representative on the commission to state agencies. This has to do with the coastal situation, the sea level rise, and erosion. There's a couple of other these, they're incorporated in the memo which I just provided to you. So I would recommend using the SIP and the elements of the general plan to determine your work plan letters. Thank you.
All right, great. I will
It's all one packet.
close our.
One for everybody.
Got one more speaker?
Yes. Everyone.
All right. Ms. Amanda Quintanilla.
Yes, hi. One of the concerns that was just, I was listening to a former commissioner speak right now. He mentioned about the skating rink at the North Beach lot. However, that's under a resolution, I believe it's 9455, if memory serves me right, that this land, parcel of land, was obtained by the city of San Clemente as a result of a 1993 heavy storm which flooded the drain at North Beach. And so, as a consequence, the only thing that can be built on it is a parking lot. And so, it's my understanding, and I presented this at the city council agenda, at the city council meetings, at the budget meetings, and the Measure M2 funds when they were on the agenda as agenda item. And the proposals was from Bonnie Barnes and former architect Ricardo Nickel. And they actually went to the California Coastal Commission in San Diego and proposed their option for a parking lot, just single story. And actually the California Coastal Commission preferred their plans versus the city of San Clemente's. So, and the reason why I'm saying is that it could only be a parking area. So with the Miramar theater opening up, Miramar project, that would probably be one project that's going to be potentially down the road. And I think that there's a concern of you can't do a roller rink because of the previous resolution of 9455 back in years ago. Thank you.
All right, we're going to close the public comment. And looks like we have a report from this director.
Yes, thank you. I'm Samantha Riley, Beaches Parks and Recreation Director. This item is for the development of the BPR Commission work plan for the upcoming fiscal year. In the staff report, we've covered what are 4 projects that are funded. You'll see that there's the cost of service study that's I'm hoping to bring that to the Commission in August. There is a review of concept designs for 2 playground replacements. These are also rollovers from previous fiscal years. We do have some funding shortages on some of these projects that we need to work through at the staff level. Number 3 is participation in and review of concept designs for a new dog park. That's funded through CIP. And then there's also the consideration and review of designs for the Meadows development, which is the soccer fields at Vista Hermosa Sports Park. We are in the process of that. Council awarded a contract to an architect. So we hope to bring back concept designs towards the end of this calendar year to the Commission. Additionally, staff's recommending to continue to work through the aquatics partnership policy. The Commission will see that come back in August. And then there was also a want to look at give a special presentation for the current Parks Master Plan as it stands today. And then continued consideration of funding strategies for parks development and events and programming. I will note that there's a lot of different ways you can put together a work plan. Every commission and committee does it a little differently. Historically, this commission has decided to email after this meeting. Everybody would email their ideas to myself. At the staff level, I would compile all those ideas and kind of categorize them into different areas, and then bring the comprehensive list back to the commission. And then that can be sorted through at a future meeting date. On the alternative side of that, I've also seen committees, not this commission, but some committees are able to talk through all the options right on the dais and narrow down a list. The last point I want to make is I want to ensure that the commission has tangible and realistic expectations of what can be accomplished. I've also seen commissions and committees come up with concepts that there are not staff resources for, there's no financial resources for, and so they're ideas that never come to fruition. So at the staff level, we recommend you're very cognizant of what it is you put on your work plan so you can feel like you've accomplished something for the coming year. With that, I'm happy to take any questions if there are any.
Great. Thank you very much, Director Wiley. Is it previously in the past, I remember 2 years ago, we emailed you, and it seems like that method was better because that way you could weed out, anything that doesn't support our mission and stuff like that. Do you prefer that, or?
I would say, given that there's 9 members on this commission, that that's going to be in our best interest for everybody's time. And again, I think everybody's going to have different ideas. Chances are there's going to be some overlap in those concepts, but to have it as one comprehensive list, I think for everybody's sorting is going to be more effective.
Right, thank you. Well, I would like to propose, and I'll open the floor to everyone else. Personally, I think it's best that we all email the director our top few choices, and she'll come back with the most popular ones and ones that she thinks would be fit. And when would that be? Within 2 weeks? Or?
Yeah, we would be looking to hold, actually the adjournment is another meeting day at the end of August, I think. So we would be looking to bring that back at the end of August to the commission.
Just a point of clarification, so does everybody have, no, nobody understands other tabs. But the annual work plan was previous, that was 24-25, right?
Yes, the attachment is the previous.
Last year, what was worked on, okay.
Yeah. And
What was just handed out?
yes, and I would like to, Samantha, we are continuing to work on all of these items, correct?
That's correct.
So we are now deciding what of these items we want to continue to focus on to take to completion, hopefully in the next year, and which we might want to remove, what we might want to add or replace. Is that?
Yeah, so the items listed on the staff report, number 1 through 4, those will be on your work plan. That is absolutely the meat and potatoes of commission work. It's looking at park design and things like that. So is the partnership policy for aquatics. The other 2 items, the Parks Master Plan and consideration of funding strategies, those certainly have a tie-in to the commission, but are not under any kind of mandate or anything like that. Those would just be more informative, and then the funding would be something that's important to look at as well. I believe the information that was passed out is in relation to the prior commission's conversation. So there's some information about the strategic implementation plan, which is in part connected to the general plan as well. And those plans also provide guidance on how Parks and Recreation should be rolled out and developed within the community from the general plan level.
So if we were just to take this as is with 1 through 4 and then the additional 3 that staff recommends, that would be 7 on our list. If we were to just take just this, not add anything.
That's correct.
Perfect.
Are there any other comments or questions?
So the process, if we go with what Chair Johnson suggested, would be email you, and then we have a discussion about the various ideas at the next meeting, and
Yes.
presumably vote on them?
Yes, you would be able to look through the entire list that everybody's sent in. I'll leave nothing off, and I'll note kind of which commissioner provided the recommendation. And then you could go through and vote yes or no, item by item, or just pull off the ones that you feel like are.
Sorry, I'm kind of slow at this, but this is just to append these 7 that we already have, right? Or is it?
Amend them, add to them.
Okay, so you can suggest things changing to,
Yes.
after number 4, obviously,
Yeah.
the first 4 are,
Right. And we certainly don't have any coastal items on this list either, because this was obviously a rollover from the commission prior to coastal advisory. So I think that certainly needs to be taken into consideration, and that's why we have our 3 coastal experts on our commission now, and we would look to them to help steer that as well.
Do we have that work plan that we could reference?
I would be happy to send it to the commission.
Can you please?
Yes.
This is obviously a really big, important item, and I think it'd be smart to be really deliberate as a commission about this. Is it possible to have a subcommittee that would talk with various commissioners without, is there a legal issue with that?
I would say, right, legal issue.
I would avoid that for
Yeah.
something like this. I see where you're going with that, but I think it's better to have the conversations publicly
Yeah.
um, as a body.
Comment.
But it is a very, it's
Just in
very
terms of
big.
fleshing things out and coordinating
Yeah,
with
well, the first
the
thing,
new mandates.
I think one thing we could do is limit our recommendations.
yeah, that's smart.
Instead of
Maybe
the
like,
top
what are
three.
the top 3 things that you wanna work on, right? Also, director mentioned that you won't leave anything out, but I know previously, like, some people put, like, I know I put something wild in there and you didn't even put it in. So I think it's okay, like, if it doesn't support our mission, just save us some time, right? Take it out.
Yeah, in the past, what we've done is merge similar themes.
Yeah, exactly, so,
Which tends to happen, not everybody kind of has the same concept, it's not verbatim word for word, but it's a similar idea.
When is the goal to get the work plan to council?
We need to get to council by October.
October, okay, so
so
if
it's at our next meeting.
we should, at our August meeting decide so that.
And
Yes.
just to bring it up, like, so, for the old coastal advisory committee, there were 2 main things, which would take up all 3 of our recommendations. So I would just
4 or 5.
3 to 5.
3 to 5.
I think would like I just want to make sure that we're all in agreement on that. I don't want to spam anybody with more than that and argue about it. So yeah, I would say 3 to 5.
Director, when would you like this by? Like within the next 2 weeks?
Let's say, let me pull up the calendar. Let's say by
When's our next meeting?
August,
August 26th.
yes.
So 2 weeks before that.
Let's say by
By the month?
August 8th.
End of month.
That
Yeah,
gives you
I think August.
a couple of
Yeah,
weeks.
it's
Yes.
Yeah, all right, August 8th.
Is there a clarification I need? I'm way down here.
Yep, Commissioner Hurst.
I feel so left off down here.
Bring a pillow.
I know, right? So if we're okay with what's on here, does that mean when we come back to our next meeting, we'll decide on who wants to work on what committee? Or are we gonna just say, okay, these are what's gonna be on our work plan, and then from there, the next meeting determine? Or do we tell you? if
So
we're
this
interested in a
is
certain one?
only items in preparation of a work plan. Any work on those items would happen after.
Okay, so the next meeting after August?
Correct.
September, okay. So if we're okay with everything on here, we do nothing?
You could, yes, or you could
No,
submit me
we're good
nothing.
with what you have here?
Yeah,
Okay,
yes, that would be fine too.
all right, thank you. To ensure that we're maintaining realistic expectations so that we can actually complete our work plan within the calendar year, are we still assuming that we're meeting every 2 months? Or should we add that?
Well, we have the committee meetings to do all the work in between.
Okay.
So I think if we have meetings every month, it'll take away from our subcommittees, is what I think.
Yeah, by resolution, you're meeting every other month. If there are items, and this is a good example of that, this is something we needed to really get started on, which is why the special meeting has been held tonight, so we can kind of get rolling on it. There is always an option to hold a special meeting if there's a pressing or urgent item, or if something needs to get to council sooner, we would look to hold special meetings in between. Yes.
Were you saying that 1 through 4 are required and 6 is required?
They're funded projects, so they're coming to the commission no matter what. If they're on your work plan or not, they're going to come to the commission. So I think it's at least in our best benefit to acknowledge that these are things we have to work on. They're gonna come to you at a meeting at some point.
Okay. And then historically, how many work items have the committee had?
It's usually 7 to 8.
7 to 8?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's common, like, for each of us to be on like 1 or 2,
Yeah.
you know,
Makes sense.
whatever works.
Just understanding law.
All right, great. So, any other?
Yeah,
We need to make a motion.
sorry, could you give us any guidelines or thoughts on things that make good work plan items versus things that are maybe unrealistic from the ones you've reviewed in the past? Like what should we be keeping in mind when trying to come up with these?
That's a great question. Work plans, when we look at it, and when we look at the purpose of the commission, you guys are intended to be a body that could develop a policy and make a recommendation to council. You want to take on things that have action associated with them, and not just a series of presentations that maybe are great for public awareness, but don't help the business go forward. So you could certainly look through existing policies for the department or existing coastal policies, or maybe we lack those things. And those could be recommendations that go to council of, again, this is hypothetical and pie in the sky. Let's come up with a policy that talks about how we address coastal erosion. I don't know. Those are things that then would be forwarded to council. And typically, we would take that item and we would form a subcommittee, and that subcommittee can be a working committee, and then it would sunset. We don't want to have standing subcommittees. Some subcommittees need to have a sunset, or they also have to be publicly noticed, and there has to be minutes taken. So any subcommittee established has to have a very specific goal in mind with an end date. So those, to me, those are the best work plan items, that there's a very clear end point to the conversation.
Thank you.
Yes.
All right. So, any motion?
Yes, I motion to add the adoption of the work plan to the August 26th meeting, and that all commissioners send 3 to 5 work plan ideas to Director Wiley by August 8th. And then we vote on everything then. Second.
Do you have a second?
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against? Passes unanimously. All right, great. So, any other comments before we adjourn? Okay, it appears that our next meeting has been changed to August 26th, is that correct?
Yes.
So thank you. So everyone please take note. Next meeting is not August 12th. It is August 26th at 6 p.m. at City Hall. Chamber is located at 910 Calle Negocio, San Clemente, California, 92673.
Are you making a motion?
I'll make the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any no abstain? Okay, that's an option.